German, the blood. Das Blut. All right, das Blut, everybody. Okay, now look. You can't read from where you are, because I'm going to get back far now. You have X-ray. Are you super people? Superman, Superwoman? You don't have X-ray vision? You don't have X-ray? Okay, I'm not going to keep it away from you, buddy. I'm not going to let you see. Don't close your eyes or turn off your X-ray. All right, look at this. You can't see from where you are very well. That's a list of Roman numerals. That is a list of Roman numerals. That is a list of clotting factors. In other words, the clotting factors are going to be on there. You're not going to have to list them. You will not have to pull them out of your wherever. But you're going to have to list them. You notice I have them mixed up. You know, I say I have 8, 3, 2, 13, blah, blah. And over here I have a list of names. In other words, 8 is anti-hemophiliac. You know, 13 is fibrin stabilizing. All right, you are A-R-E. If you want to lose some points, don't learn the clotting factors. If you want to become up deficient, don't bother with the clotting factors, okay? In other words, learn the clotting factors. All right, now everybody, all right, listen to this one. I have some terms on one of these with blood. Leukocytosis, leukopenia. What's the difference? Which one is too few? Remember, the penurous means poor. Leukocytosis is too many. What? White blood cells. All right. Remember, aplastic. What's aplastic anemia? Bone cell destruction. All right. Be sure you know. Be sure you know pernicious. You know, pernicious anemia. That's unable to absorb vitamin B12. Remember that one? And that the intrinsic factor, something's wrong there. All right. Listen to this right here. All of the following are considered extracellular fluids except interstitial fluid, intracellular fluid, connective tissue fluid, lymph, cerebrospinal. All of the following are considered extracellular except extra outside the cell. The answer there is intracellular. Remember that intracellular is within the cell. Intracellular is within the cell. Okay. Okay, now y'all all remember this. Blood and muscle and so forth. Blood is derived from which of the following germ layers? Ectoderm, endoderm, mesoderm. Mesoderm. Remember Carl Ernst? We talked about Carl Ernst von Baer in 2401. Carl Ernst von Baer. He's the guy who discovered germ layers in the late 19th century. And muscle, blood, and bone are derived from mesoderm. All right, everybody, listen to this one. All right. Which of the following cell types shows up to about the 15th or 16th day in the germ tissue of the human embryonic yolk sac? Hemocytoblast, primitive reticular angioblast, normoblast, reticuloendothelial muggers. Angioblast. You hear that last choice? Reticuloendothelial muggers. All right. Okay. Now, now be sure I didn't bring that sheet over here. I don't think I did. But it might be. Yeah. Be sure and look at this. Here's a question directly from the top part of this. Here's a question directly from the top part. Which one of the following is not derived from the myeloid stem cell? Here's the myeloid over here. Here's the lymphoid stem cell. Which is not derived from the myeloid? A platelet? It is. A monocyte? It is. An erythrocyte? It is. A neutrophil? It is. A lymphocyte is not. A lymphocyte is derived from the lymphoid stem cell right there. Be sure and look at this thing. You won't have to write it, but you'll have to come up with some of the meanings. Okay? Does everybody know? Let me go ahead and read you a couple. Is this helping you a little bit? Yeah. Okay, it's helping a little bit? Okay. All right, listen to this one. I know it's almost time to go, but this is important. Listen to this. During fetal life, which of the following would not be a site of blood cell production? Yolk sac, liver, spleen, thymus, primitive tubular heart. Primitive tubular heart would not be. It would not be a site of blood cell production. Okay, now let me just mention a couple of other things on the blood. All right, now look at this one. There will be something, now look y'all, you got to know this, Jamie. Right here. In the intrinsic mechanism, arrange the following in their proper sequence according to the cascade effect. In other words, that's where you need to know 12, 11, 9, 10. In other words, I have an example. I have 1 factor 5, 2 factor 9, 3 factor 10, 4 factor 11, 5 factor 12. Now you got to pick those out. How do they come about? In other words, 12 is first. That was one of them here. 12 is first. 12, and I have on here 12, 11. I have 9. I don't have to have them all, but I have 9, then 10, and you have to know the cascade effect. So be sure you know the cascade effect of that blood clotting sequence. Be sure you know that. All right, now let's do this. Wait a minute, I know it's time to go. If you got to go, if you have to go to a class, go get up and go. That's fine. Let me give you a couple, because this is live bullets. Now you need to hear this. All right, listen right here. Vitamin K was especially emphasized. You have to go to class. Bye, Jamie. Bye, Jamie. All right. Vitamin K was especially emphasized as being necessary for the synthesis of fibrinogen, calcium, citrate, fibrin, or prothrombin. Prothrombin. Vitamin K, prothrombin. What does coumadin do? Interferes with vitamin K and its work in producing prothrombin. So it shuts down on blood clotting. Okay. All right, everybody. And so I have a question on blood typing in here. I have, even EDTA shows up over here. Remember that term, EDTA? EDTA binds up calcium. EDTA binds up calcium, renders it ineffective. All right, so, you might, somebody, Brett asked me, he would ask me, he hadn't yet, but he would. He would ask me, what would be a good question, what would be a good example or a good question for a bonus question? Could you outline the common pathway in blood clotting? The common pathway in blood clotting? What would you start with? You would start with prothrombin activator. And you have an arrow going from prothrombin activator to prothrombin and calcium, to thrombin and thrombin plus calcium, fibrinogen, fibrin, and then you can bring in number 13, the stabilizer. That'd be the common pathway in blood clotting. Might be something on blood clotting. Or it could be something, I have done this one. List in order, for a bonus question, list in order the acids of the Krebs cycle, starting with citric acid, and show where hydrogens are picked up by NAD and FAD and so forth. That could be a bonus question. Those would be bonuses. There will be a bonus. And since I'd asked y'all a bonus question in 2401 over the Krebs cycle, I'll probably ask you a bonus question in 2402 dealing with blood.
You can ask the Krebs cycle.
I know it. You know.
After class.
Yeah. All right. Well, if you have any questions, email